So what if you don't move? You're immovable in the name of Jesus, and you're immovable in your mission to where the demons can't get you to come to them. It's like Steven Seagal, come to me. See, it's like, oh no, I'm not going there. See, they won't touch you in God's arena. Okay, so there are many power words that he gave me. I want to teach you tonight. I'm going to go through these with you. I'm going to build you up. But the whole idea is that you do this. Because this generation is not going to miss their visitation. So I saw that if I do my job, but it's gonna take me publishing a lot of books. So there's 59 more to go. And I told my publisher, at the rate that they're publishing it, one every 18 months, I would have to be Methuselah. So I talked to them and I said, there's no saturation in this market, okay? Don't be afraid. And you know what? After a while, the Spirit of the Lord started talking to them. And now it's really cool what they're doing. They're going to split it between two publishers, and I'm going to be able to do multiple books a year. And the reason why is not to sell them. The reason I'm doing this is because, everybody wants to make money, but that's not my goal. But everybody else wants to. They need to, And I have 11 employees. But here's the point. If I get this information out there, then people will be built up. So this whole thing that we're doing here this weekend is to build you up. We started this right here started 15 days ago, if I'm right. It took 15 days to do this whole thing. Because the team that God's built for me knows what to do. And the Lord gave me this whole thing, told me to do it, and everybody just stepped up to the plate and did it. And this is straight from heaven. So if you want to be built up, then just receive this as a gift. You'll get this tomorrow with a CD. That's an impartation and teaching CD in the back. This is my gift to you. Now what I'm asking you to do with this so that I get my reward is actually believe it and live it. Just do me a favor. That's all I ask. Okay? All right. So your words have power. Okay. I have to get serious now. I have to teach. I want to prophesy. All right. So in John 14, verses 15 and 16, class, if you love me, keep my commandments, and I will pray the Father, and he will give you another helper, that he may abide with you forever. Okay, so the whole idea about your words having power, it's what you're plugged into. See, your words on your own do not have power. You have to be hooked up to the vine. John 15, did you know that that's absolutely true? Jesus pointed at me and said, without me, you can do nothing, which is verse 5. But you have the head of the universe pointing at you and saying, without me, you can do nothing. Something happens to you. I don't know what it is, but what do you think? You realize that he is the author and finisher of your faith. You're solely dependent upon him. So this is what he told me. He said, my next exhale, Kevin, is your next inhale. I live mouth to mouth with the one who created me. Oh boy. It's getting thick in here. I hope I can finish this. I see the glory cloud. Are you ready? Take it in. Take it in. Whatever it is that stands between you and God, just get it right now, and just ask God to forgive you. The glory's coming. Oh, John 14:23. Jesus answered and said to him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my words. And my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. Okay, so the only stipulation is, if anyone loves me, they will keep my word. That's New Testament. So you can't just do what you want. I remember the first time that I was at work, and there's so many FAA rules that if you knew how many there were, you would never fly. Well, I mean, you experience it when they take your clothes off and they don't even give you back your belt at the TSA, but you understand like what it's to go through. By the time you get to the airplane, you're exhausted. But then you have a flight attendant telling you, you know, you can't do this. You can't put your bag there. And you're like, dear Lord, you know, because you're exhausted. Just finding a parking space, running and getting your bags checked, and then they strip you, and your belt is very suspicious, you know. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So you get to the airplane, then the flight attendant tells you, you can't do this. You can't be up right now. The seatbelt sign's on. And I'm laughing because I remember this lady came up to go to the bathroom, and it was like rocking and reeling, and I'm thinking, even me, I wouldn't be up right now. And I told her, I said, ma'am, you can't be up. I said, it's very dangerous. And she looked at me, and I realized she's never been told no before. She had never been told no. I could tell. I just looked at it. So that's what I was thinking about. But see, what if God says no? What if God says, no, this is the way, you're going to walk in this way? What if he's a father and he disciplines those he loves? Is that New Testament? Because I think it's in Hebrews. Is still in the Bible, or did... It's not in the NIV, but it's in all the other translations, the nearly inspired version. Okay. All right, here is the thing that you haven't caught. Because if you did catch this, we'd all be dancing. None of you would be sitting. Because Jesus, if you just look, he just sent the helper that's going to be with you. I read that already. Okay? So he's come and he's inside of you, right? You have a spirit of adoption. Okay. But look what Jesus does. I mean, do you think this was a mistake or something? Because he just said, oh, by the way, besides that, if you love me to the point where you obey me, me and my Father are going to come live with you. Wait a minute. The Trinity inside of me? You got to be kidding me. Well, if the Trinity isn't, I mean, have I like overstepped my bounds here? Okay, all right, so you take John 14, 15, and 16, and then you take John 14, 23. You add them together, and you get 3. Okay, so how could you be worried about the hairdryer that broke today, and Walmart doesn't have one on sale? How can you worry about that when you have the Trinity inside of you? How could you even be hurt by someone who says something terrible to you? When you're royalty, and it's one thing to be in the house of God, but how about if God says, you're my house? Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see how far we have faded back? Like Paul said to the Galatians, who has bewitched you and put a curse on you? Who has cut in and broke your momentum, that you are now going to finish what you started in the spirit in the flesh. You're going to finish in the flesh what you started in the spirit. Who has put a curse on you? So do you understand that if you really want to be transformed, then you got to yield to the Holy One inside of you. Now, what's going to happen is things are going to start happening in your house and in your dreams. And then after they happen in your house, they're going to happen to your neighbors, and they're going to happen to your coworkers. And then there's going to be a movement. And you can imagine over 30 years what it did to my company, because I let everyone know where I stand, not by forcing it down their throat, but just by showing up to work on time and doing my job. Can you imagine that? And the power of God was so strong, and I was a nobody. I wasn't allowed to talk about my experience in heaven. The Lord kept me for 23 years. I wasn't allowed to talk about it. I worked for my pastor as a non-paid staff, and he never knew that I'd been to heaven. And he never gave me his pulpit. He gave me a Sunday school. And it became the biggest Sunday school they had. And then I asked if I could be on the worship team. And I would order instruments from Amazon, pull them out of the box, start playing them, and then I would ask to play it in church the next month. And they're like, well, wait a minute. And they watched this happen time after time. And then all of a sudden, everything around started prospering. Everything. Then, after all these years, he's watching Sid Roth, and he sees me on there. Is anybody here? And he's like, okay. Oh, so that's why he was bringing instruments every month. New ones. Do you get it? You see, because there's movement. There's movement in the Spirit. And I'm not even a musician. And so it's hilarious. My wife watches it happen. I pull these out. I start playing them in the dark, praying in tongues, and then I just hit record and I start doing tracks. And I just record 5 or 6 different instruments on different tracks, and then I send it to someone, and I say, tell the band that we put together, I said, just have them listen to it, pray in tongues. If they can add anything to it, then do it. And then they come and talk to me, and they say, well, right here I can do this. And I said, okay, do it. And I publish it. So I do this every year. So this last one, I did 6 instruments on it, and then I turned it over, and every one of them said, we can't do anything better. I said, okay, well, just do it with me then. I'm serious. So I had it published. It was on Sid Roth. Are you ready for this? 3 months ago, Billboard Charts called me, said, we're charting you on Monday. You're on Billboard. I go, what? Your song on Victory, your Victory album, it just charted. I go, I'm not even living in my car in Hollywood. No, do you understand this? I'm not even trying. I don't care. I don't care who gets credit. I'm not doing this for myself. But I wanted to tell them, I'm not even a musician. Does anybody catch the spirit behind what I'm saying here? I'm trying to show you something. Each one of you has value. God has placed something in you where your market value is about to go through the roof because God's going to place a demand on your gift. With everybody around you, they're going to need what's inside of you. Courts of heaven just came to this place. Oh, man, okay. Whew. Dear Lord. Okay, John 17, 22 and 23, it says, the glory which you gave me, I have given to them. Did you hear what he just said? Okay, now, not only would we have the Trinity in us, which isn't really being preached anywhere, I don't even have TV anymore. I got the internet, and I just listen to the people that are teaching and preaching the gospel, and I play that all day. I don't even need Christian television. I just need certain people. Wait, can you explain this? Andrew Womack. He sits there like he's sitting on his porch with iced tea and his dog. And he just talks like this. And are y'all getting this? If you don't have money, don't worry about it. This is a suggested price. Years ago, I started watching him and I thought, you know what? This just proves that anybody that is called and sent can do this. And I just watched him recently. He hasn't changed a bit. What is it? What is it? You see, people that back out of the limelight but yet still stay in it and let Jesus be glorified, they prosper. He's using his gift. If you talk to him, he probably can't even explain how he's got so big. It just keeps growing. So if I start talking about the glory, I mean, you hear the Old Testament, it's like, I am the Lord your God, I share my glory with none other. And then Jesus comes and says, oh, by the way, God's going to share his glory with you. Well, what just happened? Do you think maybe you're pleasing to God? Do you think maybe how you're feeling every morning is not right? Where you feel rejected, like you're messed up? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you what. I woke up this morning with every devil in this city ready to tell me what I'm not going to do. And I got up and started praying in tongues, and I said, thanks for letting me know, because now I know I got it. Because you're liars. All of you are liars. And poof, they went away. And all of a sudden, I felt a father in my room. And I thought, people need to know this. They need to know that I'm not a superhero. I don't have anything over you. I mean, maybe just raised from the dead, but, besides that, it's fine. But do you understand that you can get this? You can get a peek at what's going on if you allow the Spirit to give you eyes that see. So Jesus said, listen, the glory which you gave to me, I have given to them, that they may be one as we are one. I and them, you and me, that they may be made perfect in one. Did you hear this language? You'd be kicked out of some churches talking like this. That's what happened to Jesus. And that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me. Did you hear what? He loves you as much as he loves Jesus. The Father loves you as much. I mean, did I just read that? You want me to read it backwards? Upside down? What is it going to take for you to grasp the fact that you're in a world that rejects you, and there's no way you're ever going to fit in? And if Andrew Womack can sit there by the fireplace and tell you a story and just keep growing, and if a flight attendant who can fly the airplane, but was a flight attendant on the airplane, he could fly for 30 years, and he starts a school and in 5 months he has 3,200 people, and he's not even trying, well, then what can you do? I didn't even know I could play instruments. I wasn't told that I got that when I was in heaven. That was an after effect of just being exposed to that realm. So I was asked to speak to the people of this generation, bring them back to the Father's heart, so that the next generation doesn't have to publish books about us. How about it? Let's kick it into gear here. So people can't accept the fact that God loves them as much as he loves Jesus, but it says it right here. So my solution to your problem, if I was a doctor, I would write you a prescription to start in John 14 and go to John 17, and when you're done, repeat. And then get a refill and take those for another month. And then after you're done with that, just do it again. That's all I do. One verse at a time. I cycle through these verses. And these words that we're going to talk about in this conference, they have to do with the empowerment of the Spirit. So it's not just being like a parrot, like some of my friends who were taught to just keep saying it, and it might happen if you just wear God out. After the 500th time, he might just do it because he just wants you to shut up. But see, that's not relationship. I'm not like, this isn't a slot machine. My prayer life, it's a sniper rifle with a bullet about this big. It's one shot, one kill. I don't have another one. I don't pray with a shotgun, hoping I hit something, with a spreader on the end of the barrel to even spray it out even more. No. My prayer life is based on what I know. Oh, come on. You're all looking at me like, there's so much in here. Why don't you just start praying this? And don't worry about who you're going to marry. Did I just say that? Do you understand? You're looking for specific things, but you're missing the relationship. So you're missing your whole life. No one's going to solve your problems except him. And tonight, we're going to take you there. Like I mentioned in 2 Peter chapter 1, we have been given these exceedingly great and precious promises that through these we must be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And you can live off this verse. The glory of God has been given to you. Jesus bought that for you. You can participate in the glory. But the glory is the personality of the Father. Now, when I was in heaven, the glory was around the Father, and Jesus shared in that. And now he's saying he's going to share it with us. But I couldn't even look at the face of the Father. But see, getting back to the Tower of Babel, you see, because of their unity, God said that there's nothing that they can't imagine that they won't be able to do. Okay, so in the day of Pentecost, when he came, when the Spirit of God came, he reversed the Tower of Babel. Now, in the Spirit, we speak the same language again, which should result in unity. Oh, boy. So now, listen to this. This is so rigged in your favor. Now, God says you need to pray. And then he has someone inside of you that prays for you, that prays perfect prayers. It's all rigged. And you're saying, can it be that simple? Yes. What have we done? 12 DVD set, and then you'll understand this? No. Just replay what I just said. It's that easy. It's all rigged. Okay, so now we have the right doctrine. We have the right belief system. And if we can just get unity. Oh, please don't make me say that, Lord. Why in a little town do we have 29 interpretations of Jesus? I can't believe I'm saying this, but as you can understand, I've worked for 30 years. I don't need to live off of offerings. Now, my employees do, but I don't. I'm not afraid. Jesus appeared to me when I was 19 years old, and he said, this is what you're called to do, and I'm going to send you to an airline. He told me this at 19. Is anybody here? I didn't get that job until I was 25. He said, because I'm going to have you get a career so that you'll never have to rely on money, so that your message will not be watered down and compromised. So if I have to, I'll go back to work. What do you do with a dead man that's living? He's not afraid to die. So if fear's gone And I can't lose because I've already died. I've got the T-shirt and the hat. The movie's coming. No, think about it. Think about it. What would you act like if you weren't afraid? So no one's going to give any offering? So what? I dreamed of this day. I dreamed of this day. But Jesus appeared to me and he said, I am going to have you work and have a retirement so that you will never be manipulated by offerings. And so now people can't understand why the ministry is so prosperous. Because I tell people, you don't have to give it to me. In fact, I'm going to give this for free. And if you don't have money, go back to the table and take something. And they're like, you're never going to make any money. You're never going to be able to pay your bills or anything. And it's like, really? Who told you that? Because I read that a warrior never goes to war at his own expense. Okay. All right, so now we have the right belief system and we have unity. We are impenetrable as a body of believers. We need to stay in agreement and in unity. Unity of the faith. We need to be built up. The body of Christ needs to fulfill its mission on this earth. And we're not all little Rambos with our apostle certificate. What did I just say that? Did I just say that? Hey, can you erase that? I don't want anybody being offended, you know. No, but think about it. Like, why is that your goal? When Jesus said, hey, when you get asked to sit at table, sit at the lowest spot. And then let the head of the table ask you to come up. Is that still in the Bible? Okay, isn't the greatest the least? Or is that gone? Okay, now listen to me. This is what I saw with Jesus. He actually laughs. He's grinning. He's holding back laughter when he says these things. Because he told me, if you will do this, if you don't care if you ever get recognized, if you don't care if you never get credit, he said, you're going to go to the front of the line. Because favor isn't fair. It's not fair.